I am going to be decluttering the Tarte Shape Tape.
Get out right now. It's the end of you and me.
Hey guys, and welcome to the video. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Sarah, and I am currently obsessed with the new Sims 4 Cats and Dogs expansion. So you know your girl's gonna go back to playing with her virtual pets as soon as she's done filming this. In other news, but the reason why you're here is because today I am going to be showing you guys some of the stuff that I am going to be decluttering from my makeup collection. I'm also going to be doing a makeup empties video. I wanted to do them in two separate videos instead of just all in one video because I think that they're going to be maybe on the longer side. So keep a lookout for the empties video if it's not already up yet. Today I'm going to be showing you guys what I'm going to be decluttering from my collection. Now, as someone who wears a lot of makeup, and obviously I have a channel that surrounds that, you do end up collecting a little bit of makeup. I definitely don't have the hugest collection in comparison to a lot of the beauty YouTubers out there, but I do have a decent sized collection, definitely larger than your like normal girls makeup collection. So with that, there's obviously going to be some things that don't really get used as much or don't get used at all and just kind of sit around and like collect dust pretty much. And as we all know, makeup does have an expiration date, so there is kind of a point where you're like, you know what? This needs to go. So I was basically just inspired when I decided to finally do my empties video that there was a lot of stuff that I also wanted to get rid of and declutter along with all of my empty products. So I went through my makeup collection. I've kind of been going through it over the past couple of weeks and just really deciding what I'm not using and basically just what needs to get the heck out. So let's get started. So for the first category, I'm going to be working in categories, is going to be makeup tools. I only really have like one thing for that, but I wanted to mention it anyways, and that is going to be these pure sponges. Now I have 3 of them. I did receive these in a BoxyCharm monthly subscription service, and when I originally used them I was like, oh, like yeah, these are nice and you get 3, which is cool, but honestly I literally haven't used them since I received them, and that was like, I want to say probably a solid 6 months ago. And as a lot of people know, you probably should be getting rid of your makeup sponges every couple of months regardless. Now, even though I haven't used them all that much, they look absolutely disgusting because I just didn't clean them after I used them the first time. But they're just not good. So being someone who's definitely used and enjoyed the actual beauty blender, these are just, to be honest, trash in comparison. I have heard that the ones they sent in BoxyCharm were not of the same quality that they do sell from the brand, like just from the website, which is very strange to me. But the reason why these basically just suck is because they're like hard as rocks. You can like fill them with water and dampen them, whatever, and they're still hard as rocks, and it's just like punching yourself in the face repeatedly. So unfortunately, these are definitely going to be decluttered. Moving on to primers. I have 2 primers that I'm decluttering from my collection. The first one being the NYX pore filler, and the reason why I'm decluttering this is I've used it quite a bit. It's not empty yet, obviously, otherwise it would be in my empties, but unfortunately I just don't think it's doing a whole heck of a lot, and I just recently realized that it has a 9-month kind of expiration date, and it's definitely been more than 9 months. It's probably been a year, maybe more than a year that I've had this, and I haven't really found myself reaching for it, and every time I do I just feel like it kind of pills up. It doesn't really do anything great. So unfortunately for the NYX pore filler, we are getting rid of it. Next up is going to be the makeup primer from the brand Arbonne. I actually did a video a super long time ago reviewing the brand, so I don't really feel like this is necessarily a terrible primer. I think I did enjoy it when I was using it, but this is very similar, if not exactly the same, as the Smashbox Photo Finish primer. So it has the same texture, pretty much the same formula, and to be honest, I never really enjoyed the formula of the Smashbox Photo Finish primer. I'm definitely much more of a person who enjoys like a primer that is more similar to a moisturizer. I usually just moisturize my face a whole heck of a lot anyways before I do my makeup, and sometimes I don't even use a primer, so this was definitely just not something that I was using. And because I know that I did get this over a year ago and it definitely says 12-month expiration date, and I'm not using it, same with the NYX pore filler, this one is going goodbye. Moving in to sort of concealers and color correctors, This is something where it was like user error, and I really wanted to try the LA Girl Pro Conceal Color Corrector. Now, I didn't honestly realize that there was like more than one shade for the under eye corrector, so I just went ahead and picked up the shade Orange Corrector because I just assumed, you know, orange corrector, that's gonna be fine for like dark circles. But no, this is way too dang dark for my skin tone, as I am seriously the palest of people. Well, there's people more pale than me, but I'm pretty pale, and this just is way too dark. I feel like I should have probably gotten something a little more along the lines of a peach corrector. I know that they have that, I just didn't see it at the time, so I picked up the wrong shade. So I did try using this like maybe twice when I first got it, and then that's when I realized, holy crap, that's way too dark. So unfortunately, it's just been sitting in my collection and we are officially getting rid of it. Moving on to something that I'm actually really sad to be decluttering because, again, user error, but also I feel like brand error, because this is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I love this concealer. I have one in my collection in the shade 15. This one is in the shade 10. I just kind of went ahead and assumed that 10 is going to be lighter than 15, so I wanted to get one that was lighter than the one I had, and so I bought this one. Turns out it's a whole shade darker. This makes no sense to me. Why is 10 darker than 15? So basically I tried using this. Honestly, I can't even use it as like a solid contour shade or anything like that. It's just unusable for me because it's just a slight shade too dark. So unfortunately, I really tried to make it work, but it's gonna have to go. So moving on to something that I know everyone in the comment section is just gonna freak out. You're gonna dislike this video. You're gonna unsubscribe. Please don't. I have my reasons. I am going to be decluttering the Tarte Shape Tape.
You what?
Now, this, as you can see, is brand new in its box. I haven't used this, I haven't opened it. So basically what happened is when the Shape Tape came out, it was really hard for me to get a hold of. We don't have Ulta where I'm from because I am from Canada, so the only way I was able to get this is to order it online. Now, it was constantly out of stock online. I finally was able to place an order a little while ago, and I figured, you know what, while I'm placing this order, I'm gonna buy two because this has already been really hard for me to get a hold of. Everybody loves it. I've never tried it, but I just kind of assumed that I was gonna love it as much as the rest of the world, so I bought two. Now, while the shade that I chose, I did choose Fair, is a pretty decent shade match for me when it comes to concealer. Unfortunately, like, I just realized over time of using it, because I have still been working through the first tube that I bought that I did open and I have been using, whatever. But I just kind of realized after opening the first tube and using that, I've been using it for quite some time, and I don't know, at first I feel like I really liked it because I was like, wow, like this is the perfect shade, it's pretty good coverage, but if I'm being quite honest with you guys, I really don't think I like it that much. And here is the reason why. I have super dry skin, and especially in the winter right now, my skin is just crazy dry, and I almost can't even set my makeup with a powder. I still do because I want it to stay in place, but if I do, it just gets so powdery, so cakey, and I just can't stand the whole look of that. I know the Tarte Shape Tape is not supposed to be something that you have to set. It's supposed to set itself, this and that, but to be quite honest, I found it was really creasing on me, which is so strange, but it was, so I definitely always had to set it. So something that's super thick, super full coverage that you're not supposed to set, but I do end up setting, it just doesn't really work for my makeup routine. So basically I was just noticing that every single day I was wearing the Shape Tape, it wasn't really working for me, and I just hated the way that my under eyes looked. So unfortunately it's gotta go, and I know it's brand new, so I am actually going to be passing it on to a friend who uses the same shade as me, and I know she loves this concealer, so don't worry, it's not going in the trash, it's going to a good cause. And I just wanted to let you guys know that, unpopular opinion, I don't like the Tarte Shape Tape and I will not be repurchasing it. So if any of you guys have pale skin and dry skin, please leave in the comments down below which concealers that you really enjoy using, because unfortunately your girl needs to find a new concealer. So moving on to eyelid primers. This is something that, to be quite honest, you guys, I never use. I always just use my concealer as my eye primer. So the two eye primers that I'm decluttering are basically just like, I don't use them and they're getting old. So one of the eyeshadow primers that I actually really do enjoy, and it does perform super well, super affordable, is the Essence I Love Stage eyeshadow base. Now this is just like it has like no shade name, so I'm assuming that there's only one version of this. I always kind of noticed it was a bit dark and a bit orangey on me, but I just kind of was like, whatever, I'll blend it out, put eyeshadow on top and nobody will notice. But I have come to realize after visiting the drugstore again, they have a lighter shade. So this is the I Love Color Intensifying eyeshadow base. And so basically this is just going to be replacing this one. As you can see, like one of them is, I don't know if you can tell, one of them is slightly lighter in the other one, and it is the color intensifying one, which, like, I know it's not made for people with pale skin. It's made to like brighten up like colors and stuff like that. That's why it's so pale, but it just works so much better for my complexion than the regular eyeshadow base. And the next eyeshadow primer that I am going to be decluttering is also from the brand Arbonne, and this is the Prep and Proper Eye Makeup Primer. Now, I actually remember really enjoying this, but it's started to do like this really weird thing where I think that the formula is kind of separating, and it's kind of just getting really oily around like where you open it, and I feel like that's probably a pretty big sign that it's like not good anymore. So unfortunately for this little Arbonne primer, and especially because I know I've had it for probably longer than anyone should, but it's going by. It's goodbye. So moving on to eyeshadow, I'm actually surprised that I'm really decluttering anything for eyeshadow, because I try not to like do that because it's my favorite product ever. But basically there was 3 things in my collection that I realized I wasn't using, or they were super old. So the first one being this little quad from Clinique. I can 100,000,000% say that this is the oldest eyeshadow palette or quad that I've owned. I think it's actually the first one that I ever owned, and it's just been sitting in my collection because I'm like, wow, like this is a really good brand. I should not get rid of this. But to be quite honest with you guys, I actually just haven't been using it. As you can see, I did actually hit pan on one shade, and that was literally the only shade that I actually liked. It was like this kind of shimmery salmon color, and it was gorgeous, but it's gone now. And the other shades are just like, they're pretty, I guess, but I realized that like I've had it for way too long, and I haven't actually been doing my makeup for like ever and ever. Like I only probably started a couple of years ago, but a couple of years old, definitely needs to go. Moving on to something that's actually a lot more recent to my collection, but honestly the quality is just not there. So I recently received this in a BoxyCharm subscription. This is the Real Her Shadow Palette in Be Your Own Kind of Beauty. I don't really know like if it has a name or anything further than that. It has like the Roman numeral for 1 on the front of it, so I'm assuming maybe there's more than one of these. This is like not ugly, like it's got some really nice shades, but they're kind of all shimmery. So like, I don't know, I definitely wouldn't be using just this for an eyeshadow look, because all of like the neutral brown shades and stuff like that I'd probably want to put in my crease, and if they're like metallic brown, like that's just not going to work. So unfortunately this is just not something that really works for me, and the quality in general just kind of sucks. So unfortunately this is going to be decluttered. I might try to find someone who wants this, but honestly I don't recommend. So the last eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be decluttering is something that I'm like kind of sad to be decluttering, but I also realize that it's old and I don't need it because I have very similar items to it. And this is going to be one of the BH Cosmetics 88 color palettes. This is the neutral eyeshadow palette. So this is your neutral eyeshadow palette. As you can see, it's like got some pretty decent colors happening here, but unfortunately I think basically what's happened since I've used it, or since I purchased it, sorry, and I've been doing YouTube videos, it's 100% impossible to kind of tell people what shade you're using, and like there's so many of them that it's just like it's way too complicated. And to be quite honest, I bought this, I want to say 3 years ago, and it says that it's only like 2 years, good for 2 years. So I don't know if like 3 years is too long. I definitely think it's kind of nearing the point where 3 years is too long. And to be honest, since 3 years ago buying this, I think I've used it like just a few times when I first bought it, because it was one of my first like neutral eyeshadow palettes. But since then it's really just been sitting in my collection, and I haven't want to got rid of it because I haven't hit pan on anything. It's got some really nice shades, it's from a good brand, but unfortunately it's just like sitting there collecting dust, expiring slowly over time. So I'm gonna see maybe again if someone does want this, but to be quite honest, I think it just needs to go. Moving on to eyeliners. I have 3 eyeliners to talk about today, and the first one I'm really sad to be talking about because this is actually my 100% favorite eyeliner that I've ever bought. This is the only eyeliner that I ever buy. It is my holy grail, but unfortunately there's something wrong with this one. So basically this is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster Pen, and usually this is the eyeliner that I buy to do a nice liquid winged eyeliner, and it's amazing. It's pretty much a dupe for the Kat Von D tattoo liner, but this one is in the shade black. And I did not realize when I bought this that I've always been purchasing the shade ultra black. So basically this is just not black enough, and there seems to be something wrong with the formula. I don't know if it's just like the ultra black one is just really good and the black one just sucks, but basically nothing comes out of this. I tried to do a wing liner like twice recently with this because I just bought it, and nothing. It just does nothing. It doesn't like apply smoothly, it's not pigmented, it's just not what I'm used to when I buy this eyeliner in the darker shade. So unfortunately, Physicians Formula, you need to up the formula on your black eyeliner and make it the same as the ultra black eyeliner because nobody wants this. Moving on, something that I bought because I like the brand and I like how affordable it is. So I wanted to try to find something that was cheaper than the Physicians Formula because it's about $14-15 when you buy it from the drugstore, and that is going to be the Essence Superfine Eyeliner Pen in waterproof. Now this is something that I'm already not used to using because it's like a felt tip, and the Physicians Formula one is a brush tip. So I much prefer brush tips when it comes to liquid eyeliner, and this already right off the bat was just something that I wasn't a big fan of, to be real with you guys. And unfortunately there's just something up with the pigmentation in this. It like nothing comes out of the felt tip, and I don't know if maybe I just like bought a dud and like it was like the one that everyone was testing in the drugstore and then just like never buying, and so when I bought it it was just like empty. But overall, not a huge fan. So something that I bought because I wanted to get into trying new things but am severely disappointed in is the NYX colored felt tip liner in white. Now I feel like I did my research and this is the one that came up as being one of the best, like more affordable white eyeliners to buy. I think I was incorrect and I bought the wrong one. Unfortunately, again, with it being a felt tip, it's really a lot harder for me to work with, but then straight up just the pigmentation is not there. I feel like when you are on the hunt for buying a white eyeliner, you definitely want to buy something that's like super opaque, like the most opaque, like transparent white eyeliner in the whole world. This is not that, unfortunately. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like kind of got pigment to it, like it goes on white, but it's like not really that white. So when you go to like fill in like the wing, if you know what I mean, it just kind of like doesn't like look right. It's just kind of patchy, and when you try to layer it up, it was just like pilling and like getting chunky on itself, which is so gross. And unfortunately my dreams of having a white winged eyeliner are just not coming true with this one. So moving on to lipsticks, I have definitely a few lipsticks that I'm going to be getting rid of, and I have a pretty like decent lipstick collection. I feel like if I have the most of anything in my makeup collection, it's probably lipstick, and even though I always go back to the same ones, but there's a couple that I've realized I've had for way too long, like a couple of years, and I don't know, they say that you can have them for up to 2 years, but like this is something that you put on your mouth and like goes in your system. Like, have you all heard that you eat like 1 whole tube of lipstick in a year or something crazy like that? Yeah. So basically I'm just kind of getting rid of the ones that I literally haven't reached for in a year. So these two are the Rimmel Lasting Finish lipsticks with like the Kate collaboration. I don't really know who she is. Who's Kate? It just says by Kate. So Unfortunately, these have just been sitting in my collection for way too long. And the first shade here is in the shade Kiss of Life. And it's just like a nice red lipstick, and red lipstick is cool, but unfortunately I feel like when I want to wear a red lipstick, I always immediately go for a liquid lipstick because I know it's gonna not like go anywhere on my face. This is just like a nice shade, but unfortunately it's not the formula that I was looking for, I guess. But I do think I bought this before liquid lipsticks even like were trending, so yeah. I feel like overall it's a good lipstick if you're into lipsticks, but it's just getting way too old, and I'm definitely reaching for liquid lipsticks when they're darker shades a lot more than this. So the second one that I'm getting rid of, to be honest, I literally don't know what the shade name is because I've had it for so long that it's worn off. It looks like maybe the number is 101, and this is basically just like, honestly, it looks so gross. I'm so sorry about this, but this is just like a kind of cool toned pink shade, and I don't really wear cool toned pink shades anymore. Like, I was super into them a few years ago, but it's just not a thing for me anymore. And to be honest, that was like definitely like probably melted and then tried to reshape itself, so that was really disgusting. Sticking with cool toned pink shades, because again, like I said, I used to be super into them. This one I think is from Revlon. I really can't tell anymore, but again, little cool toned pink shade. The shade is actually beautiful, but I just don't wear it like literally ever, not once ever anymore. I used to wear it a lot, but definitely like even for wearing it a lot, I only think I went like halfway through it, but you know, that's still pretty good for a lipstick. This is in the shade 002 Pink Pout, and this is one of the Revlon matte lipsticks. Definitely a good lipstick, and this is actually the second time I've purchased this particular shade, so I've gone through like a whole tube and then repurchased it. So the formula is good, but the color's just not like, it doesn't suit me anymore. I'm going to keep the video going regardless of my new neighbors apparently moving in, and let's keep going because at least we're almost done. So apparently there's definitely a theme with what I'm decluttering, because this is another Rimmel Lasting Finish lipstick. It's just not the Kate collection, and it's pretty much the exact same shade as the other one. It's just like a nice red, except for this one is in the shade Alarm. Honestly, what, like, this is the same thing, isn't it? Did they just make the same lipstick like twice? This one seems a bit lighter. I don't know. They look like the same lipstick and they're from the same brand, so honestly they're probably the same. And that pretty much explains why I'm decluttering it. Now, moving on to a lipstick that I literally do not know the brand of this. So basically, when I was in my aesthetics program and I did have like the makeup course, we got like our makeup kit that like you kind of like, it came with the course or whatever, like you didn't have to bring your own makeup. And so we got a collection of different lipsticks, and so I don't actually have literally any idea what the brand of this is, because for some reason everything didn't have a brand name on it, which is super weird. But this basically just says luxury matte lipstick in the shade Red Carpet, and again, it's a red lipstick. So clearly everyone can now see that I don't like red lipsticks when they're in a tube, rolly, whatever you call this formula. Liquid red lipsticks, amazing, love them. These kinds, not so much. Moving on to the very last item that I'm going to be decluttering, and this just like never got used. I think like I bought this for a video, to be quite honest with you guys. It was my full face of Wet n Wild makeup video, and this is the Wet n Wild Mega Volume Mascara, but I think I've bought this probably at least 3 months, maybe more than that ago, and I literally used it for the video. I maybe used it one other time, and it didn't really stand out to me as like an excellent mascara. And I feel like because I opened it and it's like been just sitting there for a few months, it's probably not really good anymore. And so I mean, I'm just gonna declutter it because I don't really like enjoy it that much, and I usually use other mascaras anyways, so unfortunately this one is going in the bin. So that's it, you guys, for the things that I'm going to be decluttering from my makeup collection. I'm actually just like, it feels so nice to get rid of this stuff because it's just been sitting there and I've just been staring at it every time I do my makeup, being like, I don't like you, I don't use you, why are you still here? So unfortunately it's gonna go either in the bin, or I'm gonna see if somebody maybe wants it, like the stuff that's probably more recent purchase or of better quality, like the Tarte Shape Tape. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then of course give it a big thumbs up. It helps me out a whole heck of a lot. You can totally subscribe if you like, because I'm definitely going to be putting out more videos similar to this in the future, like my empties video, and I'm probably going to be doing a project pan video, so keep an eye out for that in the near future, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Yeah!